Today in the battle arena, two teenagers equipped with some of the most powerful alien weapons known to man. Tennyson with the Omnitrix on his wrist versus Jaime Reyes in the Blue Beetle scarab strapped to his back. So who's coming out on top here? Who's gonna win it all in this knockout, drag-out fight? Well, today, that's what we're gonna find out. What's up, guys? This is DanCo. I do fight breakdowns, power ranking videos, or more deep dives into your favorite characters and franchises with new videos every week. So if that seems great to you, well, sit back and enjoy the video. Hit that like button if you want to, or hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Tennyson was a rather unremarkable kid who was about to go on what could be the most boring summer road trip ever, with his granddad and a cousin he could barely get along with. However, it just so happens that one of the most powerful devices in the universe crashed into Earth, physically bonding with him and giving him the ability to transform into 10 different alien forms. So it turned out to be a much more interesting summer than he could have ever imagined. From fighting petty criminals, to being chased down by an intergalactic criminal warlord, to even saving the universe. And even then, it was only the start. Ben's adventures would span years, going all the way to his time as a teenager, making allies out of his family, and even his former arch-nemesis, Kevin 11. Ben's powers all come from the Omnitrix, the creation of the most intelligent mind in the universe. While it was originally a tool for peace, allowing species to walk a mile in another's shoes, of course it was twisted to becoming a tool of destruction and a weapon of war. But when it crashed into it on Earth, well, Ben was able to use it for another purpose altogether, to become a hero. The Omnitrix allows Ben to instantly transform into any alien, gaining all the powers and abilities of the alien in the process. And while it originally was limited to just 10 different aliens, now Ben has over 70 different aliens at his disposal, although technically in canon, he actually has over 1 million different aliens, just that we've only ever really seen 70 of them. Whenever Ben has master control over the Omnitrix, well, he can instantly switch into any alien that he wants at any time. He no longer has a time limit that he has to abide by. And the Omnitrix is so overpowered that if Ben is ever in life-threatening danger from an attack, well, the Omnitrix will instantly transform him into any alien that would allow him to survive that attack. Now, Ben has quite a diverse set of aliens, so I think the easiest way to talk about it would be more in general terms. Super strength, super speed, flight, energy projection, and then how Ben is able to use each of his aliens for that. Like with super strength, well, he's got aliens like Way Big or Humongosaur, or even Ultimate Way Big or Ultimate Humongosaur. Humongosaur is able to casually knock over buildings. He could probably level whole towns, and even then can easily throw things into outer space. And Ultimate Humongosaur is so much more powerful that he can easily fodderize normal Humongosaurs. And then Way Big is just, well, big. And he's so powerful that, again, he can casually throw things into outer space, no problem. And generally is just able to easily pick up and mess up anyone in his path. And Ultimate Way Big, well, he can fight against straight planet-destroying level villains and throw them around. Sure, a lot of Ben's aliens have some level of super strength. There are even other big bruisers that he'll rely on. I'm looking at Forearms, Diamond Head, guys like that. But if Ben needs to get into a big fist fight and is taking it seriously, well, these are the two aliens that he'll call on, and they're very powerful. Now, there are also some aliens that are just plain tough and durable, like for instance, Cannonbolt. When he turns into a ball and starts rolling, well, he's dang near indestructible, almost nothing can stop him. Or there's even a different kind of durability with someone like Goop, an alien who's essentially just a giant pile of jelly, and so he can reform himself at any time and from anything, allowing him to survive essentially any attack. Then of course there's speed too, with aliens like Fast Track and Accelerate, even Jet Ray. Ben is able to easily dodge attacks and run faster than the eye can see. When it comes to physicality, Ben has a ton of options to pull from. Then of course, don't even get me started on Ben's other powers. He's got electrokinesis, telepathy, telekinesis, gyrokinesis, radiokinesis, and atomic manipulation, energy absorption and manipulation, the ability to create constructs and force fields, time travel and time manipulation, gravity manipulation and magnetic manipulation, and technology manipulation, cosmic power generation, and he can actually literally turn your dreams into nightmares or even leave you in a fear-induced coma with just a glance. Basically, anything that you can think of, Ben probably has an alien that can do it. And with the Master Control unlocked, well, he's easily one of the most powerful heroes out there in the universe. High school student Jaime Reyes discovered the Blue Beetle scarab half buried in a vacant lot one day, and so he took it home out of curiosity. That night though, as Jaime slept, the scarab came to life and bonded to his spine, selecting him as its new host, the new Blue Beetle. Now, just on a base level, the scarab gives Blue Beetle superhuman strength, speed, and durability. Granted, maybe not as much as a true powerhouse like Superman or Wonder Woman, the Blue Beetle is strong enough to hold up buildings. He can easily throw around vehicles and can even hold his own and fight with some pretty powerful people, like Green Lantern, Booster Gold, or Giganta, someone who can even regularly give Wonder Woman a hard time. Jaime is also ridiculously fast. He's casually able to dodge blasts and attacks from enemies. Through time dilation, he's actually fast enough to appear in multiple places at once. The scarab is even capable of reaching light speed. Even better, Jaime can reconfigure the armor into strength mode or speed mode, so presumably becoming even faster and even stronger. Of course, just like he's not as strong as some heroes, he's not as fast as others. Like, he can still get absolutely speed blitzed by the Flash here. But probably his greatest attribute is gonna be his durability. Like, the guy can crash land from orbit, dropping down to Earth as a massive fireball, and be completely unharmed. Blue Beetle is virtually immune to both heat and cold. He's got some built-in resistance to telepathy. He was even able to survive the pain of hours of torture, all compressed down into a second and a half. He can be punched and slammed around by other scarabs and keep on fighting. He can take attacks and shield himself from Green Lanterns. He can even survive nukes. But just like with his strength and his speed, his durability also has its limits. Like, he's gotten beaten up by Lobo before. Even Booster Gold has been able to get the upper hand over Jaime. Booster Gold. Of course, one thing the Blue Beetle scarab can do is make sure to always protect Jaime. Like, Maxwell Lord was able to build an energy gun that's capable of damaging the scarab, and then shoots Jaime in the head. The guy just seems to have a real thing for killing Blue Beetles. Well, the scarab is then able to heal Jaime from seemingly death itself. Pretty impressive. But, so if Blue Beetle isn't the biggest, or the strongest, or the fastest, or the toughest, well then what makes him so freaking powerful? Well, the scarab is so technologically advanced that it can create just about any weapon or piece of tech that you can imagine. It can instantly adapt and evolve in order to take down new threats. It can go up against just about anyone. That's what makes him such a powerful hero. Like, just for instance, Blue Beetle is able to produce some absolutely crazy energy attacks and weapons. He's got energy weapons that are able to crack apart Green Lantern's shield, and this was a Green Lantern who was completely serious and ready for the fight. The Green Lanterns and the Scarab obviously have a really complicated history, and both the Scarab and the Ring kind of take over and just try and kill each other the moment they see each other. And that's just scratching the surface here. He's got some pretty powerful neural scramblers. He can temporarily knock out Bleaves with a Chiroblaster, who's one of the most powerful Red Lanterns out there. He can one-shot a whole group of Omax. He can create basically any physical weapon that he wants to out of his arms. Blue Beetle has even been able to match up against Starro, who is amped with 5 Sinestro rings, and each ring kinda compounds on itself exponentially. It can even go absolutely crazy. Blue Beetle is able to produce nuclear bombs, and the Scarab has even said before that it's got a weapon that can destroy the planet, and the Scarab never lies. The Scarab is also able to analyze pretty much every opponent that they fight against. In every situation that Blue Beetle finds himself in, it always comes up with the perfect counter for what's going on. Like one time Jaime was fighting against an intangible opponent, so the Scarab just changed his energy blast to be able to cut through intangibility. He was fighting against a group of magic monsters. The Scarab was able to analyze their magic and figured out a way to stop them. And this ability to cut through magic even extends to being able to counter a spell from Eclipso. Of course, it's also got its limits. The Spectre just simply walked right through Blue Beetle's anti-magic shield. But on top of that, Blue Beetle is able to instantly create kryptonite radiation when he encountered Supergirl. He created a flash-proof shield that instantly knocked out the Flash, and Blue Beetle is never really short of ideas from the Scarab either. It's just that the Scarab's ideas usually involve killing. Like, he encountered a group of Omax, and the Scarab just instantly starts spouting out lethal solutions, which would have totally worked, before finally giving Jaime a non-lethal option to beat all 100 Omax at once. He's even got some weapons like a large Hadron Collider and a strong Force Disruptor, or an implicit order annihilation field at his disposal. Now, Jaime will probably never use these weapons because he's a hero and doesn't want to kill, but we do know that some of them have theological implications, meaning that it could possibly kill gods. After all, the implicit order is the most fundamental underlying structure of reality, and Blue Beetle can supposedly annihilate it. And here's the final kicker, the ultimate point for Blue Beetle. If Jaime is ever knocked out, incapacitated, or even if he's killed, well, then the Scarab is able to take over and keep on fighting. And that's a real big problem for pretty much anyone, because Blue Beetle is the only thing holding the Scarab back from constantly going all out and absolutely annihilating anyone that he fights against. So at his best, just how powerful is Blue Beetle? Well, I doubt Jaime will ever truly reach this potential, but he should be able to easily be on par with at least any Green Lantern out there. He should be one of the best powerhouses in DC, able to destroy planets, one-shot almost anyone he fights against. It's possible he could even kill gods and fundamental beings of the universe. Basically, Blue Beetle is definitely not someone to be messed with lightly. So, who wins here? Well, let's break it down. Now, two heroes with incredible powers and cosmically awesome weapons. Sounds like a great idea for a fight. Only, one catch. Ben has the power to effectively one-shot here. Alien X is almost like God himself. While he's not entirely omnipotent, omniscient, or omnipresent, he's pretty dang close. And while Blue Beetle does theoretically have some powers to kill some gods, we've never seen him actually do it. We've definitely seen Alien X do some godlike stuff, and that's demonstrated on more than one occasion that he's easily got enough power to just wipe Blue Beetle from existence with a thought. So we're taking him out of the fight. Ben won't be able to turn into Alien X here, because otherwise this fight just wouldn't be any fun. Now, while Ben 10 has access to a ton of different aliens, the truth is, not all of them are going to be able to help him here in this fight. Like, some are just straight useless, while others are a bit redundant, and he has more powerful aliens that have the same abilities. So here's some aliens that I want to focus in on. For physical power, Humongousaur and Waybig. Those are his usual go-tos. For speed or flight, Accelerate and Jet Ray. Then some of his more versatile aliens that Ben could use here would be Feedback, Ghost Freak, Upgrade, Lodestar, Gravitack, Clockwork, and Atomics. Now, we've already talked about Ben's more physical aliens a little bit earlier, so what can his more versatile aliens do? Well, Upgrade is an alien made up of basically thousands of little nanites, and he's got the power of technopathy. He can instantly control and manipulate pretty much any technology that he touches. Could definitely come in handy here in the fight. Ghost Freak can turn intangible and pass through opponents. Lodestar can control magnetism, while Gravitack can control and manipulate gravity. Feedback has the ability to absorb and redirect energy, and can absorb and fire back literally infinite amounts of energy. Clockwork can completely control and manipulate the very flow of time itself, and Atomics is essentially a walking nuclear reactor, and is commonly known as Ben's second most powerful alien. And we're talking about some absolutely insane power between all these aliens. I mean, Humongousaur is one of the strongest ones out there, and if he transforms into Ultimate Humongousaur, well, he can one-shot normal Humongousaurs. Heck, if he transforms into Atomics, well, he can knock out Ultimate Humongousaurs. Feedback has been able to absorb energy that equaled out to the Big Bang. Clockwork can completely control time at will, and even reverse the Chrono Sapien time bomb, a bomb that destroyed infinite timelines within the multiverse. Ultimate Waybig even managed to destroy a planet with one of his blasts. So yeah, all that power combined into one person, well, it's pretty clear that Ben could beat Blue Beetle. But there's a problem here. When you combine all these aliens and their individual feats, well, it makes Ben look like a high-class power, and maybe even someone on par with the likes of true powerhouses in Marvel and DC. And I guess in a vacuum, that could possibly be true. But there are also countless showings where all these powerful aliens struggle against much weaker opponents, or quickly get knocked out. So it's not like they're always operating at this insane power level. Secondly, this has never really been how Ben fights. It's actually Ben himself who's holding him back from being even more powerful. For starters, he never really takes fights too seriously. That's a big problem here. Secondly, Ben never really switches from alien to alien as much as you'd like him to. See, it would make perfect sense for him to start off as someone like Accelerate, rush into Blue Beetle, then transform into Upgrade to hack the Scarab, or just simply transform into Humongousaur and send him flying. Maybe start off as Gravitak, unleash a gravity attack before instantly switching to Clockwork and freezing time altogether. Any combination of things would be great here, and Ben could do it with Master Control. But he just never really does that. Like in his fight against Vilgax, while Ben can switch between aliens, he does it sporadically and very reactively, never switching between aliens to press an advantage against Vilgax. Or like in his fight against Aggregar, here his villain's got the abilities of 5 aliens in 1, but Ben keeps on trying to fight him with just 1 alien and just use physical power, and it ends with him getting knocked out. And unfortunately, that's often how Ben fights. While he could choose between 60 different aliens at once and proactively switch between them in order to seize an opportunity to gain an advantage and win the fight, he really only switches very reactively and to basically not lose the fight. That's not great, especially against someone like Blue Beetle, who's just as versatile and powerful as Ben 10's entire arsenal, but has all that power and versatility in one. With the scarab feeding him information, who should be able to analyze every alien Ben transforms into for weak spots or vital organs, while Jaime can quickly turn into Ben's worst nightmare. Like Blue Beetle can easily counter almost all of Ben's aliens. He can hit intangible opponents like Ghost Freak. He can reverse the effects of Time Blast that Clockwork will fire out. He's been able to counter magnetism and gravity attacks before. That takes away a lot of Ben's versatility. Plus, while some of Ben's aliens might be more physically powerful than Blue Beetle, Jaime is definitely powerful enough to hang in there against just about anyone that Ben turns into. Ben 10 might technically have more raw power. Destroying planets and absorbing universal energy is insane. But Ben is the main thing that's standing in his way. He never really fights up to his max potential, and that often resulted in him getting beat. Meanwhile, Jaime and Scarab are much more of a well-oiled machine, can counter Ben's aliens in real time and on the fly throughout a fight, and for any advantage that Ben might hold, Blue Beetle holds another just as threatening advantage in this fight. It's close, but I think Blue Beetle's all-in-one approach is much more effective, rather than Ben having to switch from one alien to another and hopping around. And that's what ultimately is going to give Blue Beetle the edge here. Blue Beetle wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're going to have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.